Okay, live. I have, in previous ones, I promised I would do a shorter video, and I know this one's just going to be long. I'm just going to try and get through as much as possible so you can watch it in chunks if you're really interested. But Alex Grace, I had referenced his videos before. He started a secondary channel called Reacts. And so on the 26th, what, about a week ago, he had a video where 2 women of 3 response here. So I thought it was relevant to the subject. It ties in with the other thing I'll talk about in a minute, but they mostly want to chase the men who will never commit to them, and then and never care for them, and then blame you for that guy. Examples aplenty to come. So these are my comments on his content, just briefly give you a sense of what you're up against. So then the laughter at men's problems or loneliness is some new strategy to make single men think they are missing out on something. Meanwhile, though, the gal who is engaging in this behavior, where's her loving husband? Where's her children? Like I said, I'll be coming back to that. I know I'm kind of starting off cold here in a weird manner for the type of video this is. But I've already done 2 installments that kind of were a little more direct at the outset. So, nobody's watched them. So you got catch up. So then the next comment was more gaslighting and projection. This is their whole argument. It's all they have. Conflation, a weak argument, but that's all rage bait is anyway. Some of this is aimed at the type of person we're talking about. I forget which is about which women and da-da-da. But he uses phrases like narcissism and that kind of thing, and she's the narcissist and the psychopath, easily kind of revealed through their own language and actions, but also the sociopath typically, because they don't like our society, whatever's wrong with it, that it totally caters to women in so many ways as he lays out. Again, that's not so much the focus of this video or this subject of the Tindr, the toxic Tindr employees. But this one admits she already started loneliness, undateable. Oh, she already started her cat collection, sorry, because she's lonely and undateable. So yes, this is the kind of woman who is exactly the kind of woman who works at places like Tindr. Not a joke. That's what we're about to get into. That evening, after I had already watched this video and seen these comments, the Tindr employee, which we have verification that she is also single, also has terrible dating habits, has terrible dating history, has extreme typical body count, or above typical, well be above typical of 2 generations ago or whatever. Shares this person's comment about manosphere dudes. Now, I don't know if I'm technically the manosphere. I don't consider this a men-only channel. It's definitely not a men-only video. I don't know that all manosphere content creators engage in all the exact same behavior, but they've created their own stereotype. And how much it's accurate, I don't know. I'm not in contact with most of these people, I don't watch a lot of that content that I know of. I watch a lot of hat reviews and boot reviews and that kind of thing. Boot rebuilds, and I watch a lot of women's YouTube channel programming about household maintenance and some of their shopping habits and even some of their fashion habits and that kind of thing. So he put, manosphere dudes are the lames we used to make fun of in high school. See what happened as soon as we stopped bullying. I doubt this guy was a jock in high school or was actually doing any bullying besides punching down. But dating is hard. Women are mean. Again, a generalization and a stereotype. And then he says, no, the problem is Myron aren't dating these new men because there are none women dating them. There are no men that are men. I don't know what he means here. It's just fragment sentence. So yeah, there are none what? Nice women? Maybe, I don't know. I don't meet a lot of women in their 20s or whatever age bracket this is supposed to be about. But they like to use this word incel that will come back up. And as we'll see, well, I might as well just cut to the one posted a video and was saying, oh, these men are, having trouble meeting the women because they just don't have the right hobbies, or whatever. And expecting all these angry men to come, I guess, screaming in the comments. And instead what she's found is indifference, where they're saying, no, we just don't want to, I'd rather spend my money on me than date some grody gold digging spinster with, 30 plus body count. So they're more voluntary than involuntary in that regard. But yes, you're getting ridiculed by the same women they don't want to date, or women who pretend that they're lesbians or call themselves that. So this was some loser comedian with less than around 6,000 followers. So nobody's ever heard of this guy. He's trying to, fight the gender war or whatever to get views. I've seen where these people they might get a lot of followers, but they don't sell a lot of tickets as far as I can tell. But yeah, likely he was actually bullied in the school by the real men in the school, the alphas. And by that, he would call them toxic and masculine, right? I don't know. But again, dating, are they dating these? No, they're just meeting quality women seems to be part of the issue. But then I had a conversation with another guy who was the opposite camp. He has said, marriage is a waste of time. Don't even bother. This channel is not about that. This is about, if you are looking for a quality partner and you are looking for a lasting relationship, are you going to find it at a place like Tindr with employees who say exactly to this comment and give it a thumbs up and a thank you? So bullying smart men is your answer to why they're single and why they should want to date a spinster loon with no husband, no family, no children. Of course, in other posts, we can put together that it sounds like she was bullied plenty too. So now just a hypocrite on top of that, and calls herself a Christian. And this is one of the persons in charge of your dating statistics. Again, I don't know that I would trust a company like this with my data or my credit card number. Typically just chases chads that, good luck with that. They don't care about her. They throw her away. They use her and dump her because, that's all they figure she's good for. They might be onto something. I don't know. But I have 95 pages of this now, and, we've already done half of that or whatever. So we're not going to try and get through all 40 pages of the previous stuff, but now we're adding new stuff. Let's see. Men wake up and they get upset when they read this kind of stuff because, yeah, these are the women that you're meeting in more urban settings or whatever. And she's only lucky because she's still kind of cute. If she was not attractive, she would be totally irrelevant, probably, for sure. Like I said, already kind of same as that other one, already on the cat collector spinster trajectory, and won't date any conservative men. So anyone with half a brain is already out, or anyone who actually cherishes women or values relationships, that kind of thing. I've already, like I said, covered all of this, but we're at the beginning, so we've got to restate some of this stuff. So then on a previous, she likes going out of her way to find other people's posts and then attack them rather than just posting her own stuff and getting, 6 responses or 2 responses or whatever. So the strategy here is to try and post rage bait comments from other sites, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Seems to work better when she delves into political hot topics rather than this kind of stuff. But so again, more with the hypocrisy. So this guy, he seemed to be some kind of pickup artist, but too hunky. And he has over 10,000 followers. So if she's accusing this guy of being an incel, it's not likely that he is, or her usual target for ridicule. But he was positing the, why do men have to be, over 6'10" and a millionaire and have over 100,000 followers on social media, which he has, again, a good amount, but not that many. Just to date a girl with over 20 bodies in her, list, right? Her checkered past. So yeah, he's basically saying, don't chase these kind of women, and she gets upset because she is one. And so she says, if she puts 3 laugh emojis with the tears coming out, if you are telling yourself this is a requirement, he's telling other men, but okay. If you're telling yourself this is a requirement for women to, pursue you or whatever, then you're lying to yourself, and it's actually your personality that is the problem. Her personality obviously sucks, and she attracts a lot of lame chads, like I said, but she mostly chases them too and then claims otherwise. Oh, and another one called her a pick-me, and she's going to hate that, or at least I think they called her a pick-me. But she ridicules the pick-me's, even though she totally acts like one. Again, where's your husband? Where's your family? Not there. Doesn't exist. Gross, toxic behavior on full display. And skipping some other stuff. And again, if you, don't want to date men, nobody's forcing you to date men. Dates for validation, then claims to be attracted to women. Again, nobody's stopping you from dating women, in your urban society. Her own family thinks she's a total degenerate, and I guess they have enough evidence that she's, mostly single or can't spot a good man right in front of her. The ones she takes home obviously don't impress them very much. So they can see her taste. There was laptop at the dinner table guy that she complained about. She lets guys move in with her pretty regularly, I guess, just so she can complain about their habits. I don't know, because it never goes anywhere. Most of the smart ones apparently run away. There was one who yelled at her about the sofa cushions that she damaged. So apparently these are 2 of the best that she's done in 8 or 10 years or something. Like I said, she tends to go out of her way to find these other things. So I wonder if she just craves confrontation more than actual dating. But then claims she is sick of arguing with them and goes online to argue with more trolls anyway, etc. So she completely misses the point that women like her are, the ones that these men don't consider worth pursuing. And that's why she and many of them are still single, and not just the younger gals in their 20s who are starting to make the same body count mistakes, etc., shouldn't be taking advice from women like this. Or again, trusting an app like Tinder to be more than a hookup site. But these younger girls, they fill out these profiles in gold digger ways, which, you know, prove their personality is not good to begin with. That, you know, has nothing to do with the short guy who is not wealthy. That's just gaslighting again. Yeah, you know, and they swipe away from any guy who doesn't fit these two requirements. But she insists that since she dated a guy who is shorter than 6 foot, that none of these other girls are doing that. You know, again, overgeneralizations, a lot of lazy arguments. So as I had said before, I need to restate now, I had seen Alex Grace and other people, at least one, saying that, you know, obviously Tinder is a scam because if you found a relationship, they would lose a customer. And I've repeated this line. Now, again, if that's true, then it might be a case for actual consumer fraud, and some clever lawyer can find a way to make a class action suit if you ever see this or that content. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a, you know, person who is interested in this topic. And again, I had tried personal ad dating sites a long time ago and haven't bothered with them since the first, 2 or 3 months that I flushed that money. So you might, you know, again, you might not be that interested in a relationship, in which case you're not going to care about the point of this video, but you might find some of it humorous, I guess. But I think, again, if they're looking for an actual marriage or whatever, this applies to you too. It's not, like I said, just about calling women names, even though a lot of them, again, if you're watching this and you're already, no, you need to take a step back and look at your own priorities. Are you shallow? Are you superficial? Are you dating for the wrong reasons? Are you dating the wrong men? Are you, you know, blah, blah, blah. Free dinner. This one, the employee insists that she doesn't just date for free dinner. On one occasion, that's been false also. So another Alex Grace video, my reply only ties right in with her men is protector stuff 2 posts down. Hint, female behavior often is just, he says, female behavior often is just emotional lashing out. Yes. That's not necessarily dating behavior, though. That may be behavior when they're already in a relationship, manipulating situations. So my comments here is, you know, manipulation may be a strategy, yes. Also, then the voting question, if they are this irrational, should they be allowed to vote, has been a hot button topic. Not going to go into that here. I've met few non-abusive women. Again, yeah, data. His more recent React video shows that the data that they've been telling us is bogus and that women are much more abusive than they want you to believe, even against other women, etc. The women these days is like dating cheaters. Oh, they like dating cheaters. That gives them something to complain about online. Again, her past history seems to fit right on that subject. Instead of just their friends and such. Oh, they want to complain about it online instead of just to their friends and such. Obviously, they only chase after those types, as you have, you know, hundreds of videos to attest this already. Yeah, they specifically go after men who don't care that they exist. The younger gals whom like the older men can still be a thing, but hopefully not all for gold digging purposes, as the case he showed in the video was a gal who was clearly only out to spend other men's money. And I'm not accusing this employee of that behavior as much as the previous behavior of that other blonde chick in the other video. Toxic gals humiliate you and drain your wallet as a matter of principle already anyway, which is why I'm lucky I didn't date so many when I was younger. But now I look back more in relief, even though it feels lousy to have, no girlfriend when all the other guys are out with somebody, at the time. Lesson for you younger guys, I guess. But then they mostly complain to you about her when you're hanging out with your bros. Why are you, and then they break up and she chases after somebody else, half the time or fair percentage of the time anyway. And he's all brokenhearted. Like, why are you brokenhearted? This girl was horrible to you. It goes on and on and on, right? More Chad right after her other BS. So someone had posted, never date a feminist is bad idea. Well, that's true. Part of their mission statement is how much they despise men. And so the comments here, somebody else comments, I'm a proud feminist. Oh, and he put his photo, and that's when she acted all pick me for this guy, calling him her Threads crush. So the photo has him in a tank top. And I don't remember if this guy was in the previous video's comments or not. But 2 seconds before or after hitting on her, he's already hitting on this other gal with some tattoos and another gal who calls herself a nerd gal an hour before. But apparently she doesn't think that guys like this are ever going to age, even though they will. And he's definitely a Chad who she thinks is, solid material. Blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I'm skipping some of this stuff. He says he wishes he still lived in her town so he could pursue her, I guess. But apparently he doesn't think she's worthy of the move because they've been in correspondence on multiple threads now. And also, again, just as recently as the day before, she said she wanted to date women. So go ahead. So more clueless, missed them old vids. I'm not sure what I don't know. Sometimes I am too vague for my own, but this is another Alexander Grace video. Tie-in. So she had posted, men are supposed to be protectors. Who are they protecting us from, though? Who? Hint, other men. Which, again, her statistics are all bogus. He just 2 days ago or whatever, or maybe it was yesterday, posted a video about these statistics being lies on the reaction video. So you can find that pretty easily. But who protects us from you when you destroy our heart for just a hit of dopamine? I would ask. So then this other person, Zerg or whatever, you're right. How stupid of us. Good men should just step back and let you handle bad men all on your own. Whatever were we thinking? He's heckling a comedian. Try and keep up. So he's being funny and sarcastic. Then for this one, she hearts this. I don't know why. But Ben says, respectfully, you can't find a feminist when things go bumping at night or there's 3 feet of snow on the roof. Again, yeah, we're going to get into the whole, men built the houses, men built the roads, men do the plumbing, men do the... 21st says, agree. Oh, sorry. Says, protect yourself. You demanded equality. But I agree. And buy your own dinner, but for that matter, right? 2, most women who get human trafficked are lured in by other women. There was a big long thread of this. I'm skipping most of it. Then Social says, you think she was being abused? Laugh, laugh, laugh emoji. When women hate each other so much, it amazes me to see women stand up for the worst of them. Something like that. Sod says, men also protect you from wolves, lions, bears, hunger. Oh, sorry. That someone else had said also lions. in response to something else, or maybe didn't notice that it said lions there already. Dennis says wolves, sheep, and sheepdogs choose wisely. Well, she never does. We've already established that, so not going to learn here. Probably not even going to read this far like I did. They hope she's still going to go. Oh, sorry. Yeah, like I said, she never goes for the right men. So she does not pick sheepdogs. She picks wolves more than sheep. I can clarify that to myself for later when I never read this again. Okay. Then this pert says, yourselves laugh. Oh, again, also very true, because again, we have evidence that this poster is bipolar, suicidal, like so many of the other ones that we see on here. She hearted this for some reason. Again, more hypocrisy, or just didn't understand that he was making fun of her, or understood that he was making fun of her and actually got a joke for a change. Don't know. Yeah, I'm glad it's not my job, that I don't have to waste my time or whatever. So to that, she put, this is funny, and put 3 laugh emojis in response to his. So that one actually got an actual response. Then someone else, no, this might be out of sequence, or something might be missing that got moved. I'm not positive. Oh, no, I'm reading it wrong. Okay, so he says it was meant with respect and deference, and then he gives her a little weird face. I don't know if that's a blow kiss, because the emoji is too small. So, yeah, he's a simp all of a sudden. But her bipolar episodes caused by tech, also schizo. They think they're rebels, but just lunatics. Oh, this was from another. Why do I feel like something got moved on accident? Increased usage of cannabis and her own dating choices have made her more paranoid, and the tendencies is for addictive behavior. So, of course, she likely gets into these codependent relationships. Then there was a reply missing. I don't know if that was her putting the moves on this character or not. Later, after she stops reading, someone came in with men help, stops women from making bad decisions. Women, again, all she makes is bad decisions, so it doesn't really matter. So then later, original says they're terrible decisions, which she thought, oh, sorry, save you from your terrible decisions. Global calamity, right? Again, she thought that was funny above, but ignores now. But then he goes on: heat, cold, rain, snow, sun, starvation. The list is literally endless. Yes, of things that men do for you that you don't credit them for. So again, this is a Tindr employee who just hates men or doesn't respect men and pretends that they do when it suits them. Kieran says, literally built a whole society that protects you. If you disagree, then go out into the wilderness and see how you fare. Yeah. And then Waffle says, it's just a performative dumb HO3 argument, or 304 argument, caused by getting effed and ghosted by men who were out of their leagues. It's simply bitterness. All this rings true. Just ignore them and let them rot from time. That seems to be what's happening. Like I said, if she wants to go be a gross this or that, or, date women, nobody's stopping you. She makes the bad choices and blames the men again. Okay. Nurk, men don't owe you protection. Yeah, I suppose that's true. This one, she hearted the farm, if I'm reading that right. Well, in all honesty, most of the 300,000 to 400,000 years our species has been around, there were quite a few men or people in general to worry about, but there were a lot of other stuff that just ate us. Haha, laugh emoji. But nowadays, yeah, it's that dumb. Though I never seen that as much more complicated, that maybe just not take risks crashing the car when my girlfriend is in it. I don't know, for some reason she hearted that. I thought half of that was incoherent or whatever. Says men, women, children, animals, natural disasters, disease, everything. Why? Yeah, why are you? Another list, but why ask her? She's clueless. Alv says, no, they're protecting you from everyone. Ad says, yourselves mainly. Yeah, especially her, because again, the bipolar thing and whatever else. Jaw says, spiders. Most of y'all go insane. Ha ha ha. I didn't heart that one. I would have hearted that one. Onezer says, house fires. Oh, yeah, I forgot about, there was a video that she posted about a man and a woman both climbing a ladder, and the woman couldn't make it like 2 or 3 rungs, and the guy was up the thing and down. And she said, why would that be of use to anyone? Obviously, she's never heard of firefighters. So yeah, house fires. Yeah, men would definitely be the people you would want mostly in that situation. Matty, men aren't always going to be there to protect you. So who protects you without said protector? Laugh, laugh, laugh. Also, the correct answer is yourselves. Laugh, laugh, laugh again with the yourselves. Hoy. Often the very men tried to protect others against are the men that liberals want to open the gates to. The doctors, engineers, and scientists that come in hordes at a time from countries where women are physically harmed for speaking their opinions. But talking bad about that is somehow fascism. Long list she ignores. Whatever. Gary. Yes, normal men are protecting you from deranged men. Your only hope of protection is to appeal to normal men. She seems to be failing in that. He laughs. Laugh emoji. The irony, of course, is that you are welcoming deranged men into female spaces while disparaging normal men. Shrugs emoji. Yeah, just last week, there was a whole post about this. And she argued on TikTok that the men are only in there to use the restroom. They're not in there for any nefarious reasons. How dare you insinuate that there are perverted men in the world after she calls all the normal men perverted, etc., etc. So then Shoba Scholasticus or whatever says, and women. I said some of this is redundant. Webb again, men are not supposed to be protectors. Why say something so ridiculous? By default, we are, though. That's part of the whole Alex Grace video thing. So you can argue with Alex Grace if you want to. I'm not going to get into it. Jenny, every other woman, if I remember correctly, one time a man had tried to defend his wife from 4 to 5 female dog bees who ganged 5-on-1 on his wife, and then the man started to, hurt them defending his wife. Yet they all called him an abuser for that, but no one ever held the woman accountable for attacking his wife. I don't know. You'd have to give us a specific article for people to refer to that rather than just this. Unfortunately, it's hearsay, I guess, right? But yeah, she treats, like I said, men, the good men, like other crappy men she dated and, effed already. Again, it's just a bad argument, conflation. Just like any other loser, 304. But she has a guy in reserve at all times who's also smart enough to not marry her. She calls this a banana stand and says they're on a break. I guess the break is because he's got a girlfriend. So yeah, he just shows up when he's bored and she gives in and complies most of the time, right? Again, that has nothing to do with this violence. But again, this violence statistic, again, and then recent Alex Gray's video, yet another Alex Gray. Thank you, Alex Gray. Ouija, I can't read this. Yeah, just because women get lured into human trafficking by other men and it's all only men, and let's ignore the millions of women who he's referring to the medical procedure here, that they all claim that they're losing their rights, and threw them in the trash because if a man was there, it wouldn't have happened. So men are at fault for that as well. So yeah, we know that this employee is totally pro-choice, but insists that they have never chosen to need that procedure. Real Tom, you don't say hint, then give the answer. A hint is a clue to the answer. Something like hint, not women. Yeah. So Mr. Semantics to the rescue. Again, another one I thought was funny that did not get a heart. As if women could I don't know what. That says, I'd say stick to comedy. Oh. He was saying this, this thread wasn't funny. There's Maurice says, people say we are protectors, and I often ask from whom. Nobody is. He's talking about his own wife. Nobody is bothering her, and what is she going to do when I'm at work? I can't be around her 24/7. I'm not actually protecting anything. So, okay, I guess he's being the loser simp or something. I'm not really sure what he meant by all that. Javier says, nature, natural disasters, famine. Yes, back to this. The stagnation and decay of modern infrastructure so you can continue to enjoy modernity. Yes, like her new dress and her car and her gold jewelry or whatever. And her Netflix. Mike 6. Hint, your own financial decisions. I've had to pay my girlfriend's car note 7 times since she got the car. That can happen. Then Truly Yours says, my life was saved by a man. Guess who he saved me from? A woman. And then another king comes back, and I think it's the same. Maybe it's a different king. I don't know. I love when I see a post and I just know you're going to wreck their laugh emoji, thumbs up. Johnny says, I also protect my woman and other women like you from the harassment of women like her. Then Truly Yours says, you're very sweet. Truly Yours being a female in the comments, or allegedly a female, as opposed to mostly these have been men or bots. We don't know. Josh, I'm for women becoming more violent and harming men for true equality. Well, they're already doing that. We like I said, this was even before that newest Alex Grace reaction video. John says, can you explain to me what was the point you're making with this post? Genuinely curious. Gets no reply ever. Rod, yes, men should stop protecting women from violent and criminal men. Again, we got the cynical take, but again, if these feminists want to step up, nobody's stopping you. We want men to protect you anymore because you are strong and independent. You don't need a man anymore, right? Yeah, again, performative, dates for validation only. Yep. Schmop, I don't know. I can't read that. No, men protect women from the elements and wild animals as well. Women have always been liabilities and men have died protecting them, which is why I think all feminists should just go to an island and F themselves, right? Then Michael says, well, yes, and is. I thought the spiders was funnier, but that too. Patrick says, not all women, quote unquote, yet all women, yeah, because we have the teachers now doing things. But this one posts a woman who has molested special ed students, and it is a link to a real article. Mahala Benavides from just a week ago, apparently, or a week before this, 2 weeks ago. Darcy says, we heterosexuals even have to protect ourselves from these DL homos. I don't know what DL means. Down low, secret, Democrat loon. I'm not sure what they're going with there. Fortunately, I can put these little inbreds on the ground when they try me or any women in earshot. Stay safe, ladies. Okay. So then on a previous board on a Friday night post, we have 3 logged entries. So these are in the incorrect order. But the last one was a talk rant about blaming the government, not feminism, even though we're pretty sure she has a DEI college degree, and women now get all the good jobs and then complain that the men don't earn enough and insist foreign men, but also U.S. men are anti-women content or whatever. So the love of money is the root of all evil. She wants to raise a family in home. Oh, she still insists that she wants a family in her home. Yeah, don't tell AOC that. Good luck with that, loon, because they want to take away all your private housing or whatever. I would have to, I guess, rewatch the video to catch the whole thing. But the conclusion again is, where's your husband? Blue-haired freaks and gays actually did price the men out in many places in many ways. Liberal cities and other burbs where, again, she resides and can't find a single decent man or whatever the argument was. Who those men just don't make enough to take her out on a real date or whatever. Says the last guy who broke her heart wasn't even wealthy, so why was she dating him in the first place? I don't know. If you want to date only wealthy men, nobody was forcing you to date a guy who had less money. Talks about Obama more than any other president. Okay, yeah, again, I don't know. I wasn't going to here. But clearly, it was a reaction to something. Somebody had said feminists were the enemy, again, like that above post or something, and, called them insufferable or whatever. But her whole argument, again, was clearly just reinforcing that she's the same thing with all the false equivalencies and conflations. Number 3 was, this other one, Tanya, says, I'm everything liberal feminists hate. Sorry, so I'm reading them out of order. It would make more sense. So this was a video reaction to this post. It'll all make sense if you just watch the whole video, right? I'm everything liberal feminists hate. I'm conservative. I have traditional values. I'm not woke. I'm feminine. I stand firm in biblical truth. I'm not brainwashed by feminism. They're triggered by a woman like this. Yes, and then she turns around and gets triggered and then acts like she doesn't. We don't think about you. Oh, really? You're the one commenting on her post and making a TikTok video half an hour later. The algorithm just puts you in my feed for no reason. Maybe because you engage with this content all the time might be a reason. We don't hate you. You're no one. Actually, you do hate them. You've made it very clear that you hate these people in your language, much of which has been borderline criminal violent, I would also assert. That maybe the FBI should be looking at, but there's a little arrow pointing up. So like I said, I read it in a bad order, but you proved their point that you are triggered. You do hate them. You are the one going out of your way to tell this woman repeatedly why you blocked one of her sites and now you're mad that the other one popped up or something. So at 3 a.m., still up bitching about total strangers equals low IQ behavior, but she gets all upset when they point out what low IQ behavior is. So Tanya, again, on a different day, going back, says the feminist movement isn't for me. I want to be a husband's girl. I don't hate men, which, again, we have more than enough proof that this person does hate men. So Jarmeal says, dude, shut up and get back in the kitchen. I wanna is for women who have choice. Choice was won by feminists. And then our Tinder employee says, yay, so cool to see you shitting on her like the rest of us. So you shit on somebody and then insist you don't hate them. She really is kind of a punching bag, but I'm pretty sure she likes it. Okay, so you don't just hate men, you also hate women who don't want to think or act like you. So hate men in your own family now too. This was from another more recent argument. I don't think I'm going to get into that. Is this what you... Yeah, this are all strategy. Like I said, most of the time it works better with politics than this dating stuff. Is she likes to throw grenades in a building and run, and act like a total hypocrite, and HOE and trollop tramp kind of language, blah, 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 that you get on a lot of these comments. So of course those kind of comments are not, going to promote a healthy discussion. But when we're already starting with a non-healthy discussion, because we're getting an unhealthy reaction to someone trying to make, yeah, you could say, okay, yeah, it starts off, I'm everything hate, but obviously this person has been ganged up on by feminists for a long time. So she's not coming out saying, I hate feminists. She's just saying why she's different than feminists. And then they all, like I said, turn instantly, more aggressive toward her. So Fadam, I don't know, I can't read that. If feminism created equality in dating, why do women still overwhelmingly pursue the top 10 to 20% of men? Or less, more like top 10 to 5%. The math doesn't work. And so Tinder's response is, why are 80% of men losers? So again, 80% of men are not losers. You don't want to date 80% of men because your standards are up here, even though you're not getting this. You're getting something down here. Why is that? Your personality? I don't know. So yeah, are these men as big of losers as her? I don't think so, because again, I don't know if 80% of most men are currently married or not, but most of the men you would consider dateable at your age bracket are already married. That's why you're meeting single men who don't want to be married to women like you. So then Light says they're not. Exactly. They're not losers. They're normal men doing normal man things like building houses. So then she comes back. Then how come no one wants them? You mean the ones who don't want you either? So that door swings both ways. Do the math for the cat ladies next, because that number might be higher than 80% at this point in certain age brackets, is what we're learning. So then Light comes back and asks if she's making a joke. So she says, why are you assuming women are in the wrong for wanting the top 20%? Because those women aren't the top 20%. That's sixth grade math. Maybe our standards aren't that high. Men are just failing miserable to do the bare minimum. Okay, so now she's conflating two different things, because again, those men who she deems worthy don't need to do the minimum. They can use you, throw you away like yesterday's garbage, and they have been for 15 years or whatever, since you were in college or whatever, or more. I'm rounding just to save time. So yeah, you're blaming the wrong men, because the men who would do those things are already married to other women. They knew you were diseased. They moved on years ago. So then he comes back with, holy cow, you're serious, when he realizes that she's a complete loon, as I've had now almost. And I didn't even get to the other stuff yet still. This is just the stuff from this month. So yeah, she hates men and can't find a good one. What a shock. So she insists, we're not looking for rich guys with abs out here. Yes, they are. Well, you're not, because you're older and you know you can't get those guys for a long-term relationship much anymore. But those younger girls are exactly looking for that. That's why they keep getting up in the same position as you, because they only go for chads and they get thrown away in a high body count. And then we tell you that and you argue that we're wrong. Honestly, just looking for a medium attractive person who is financially stable and a good, honest /honest, I guess, good, honest person. Again, yeah, they exist. They just already married somebody else. Good luck. If that standard weeds out 80% of men, it doesn't. Then shrug, 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 shrug emoji. So be it. That's a low ass bar. Well, again, nobody's stopping you from being single. Date real men then instead of performative dating. You took all the good jobs and then complain that these men don't financially stable enough for your taste in other posts. So then he comes back and says, right, because yeah, he spotted the liar already. Same as Alex Grace. These women give themselves away. You just have to read far enough and it's all the same crap. So then earlier the same night, post number 1, like I said, I'm reading these in backwards order because they all add up. Jacqueline, a lot of women who are 30 plus and single aren't choosing to be single at that point. They're single because the men they truly wanted didn't want them back. You read this first at the beginning of the night and then had all these arguments since. So again, if I had read these in the other order, it might be even funnier. I don't know. So then Tindr comes back and says, not all foreign men, but always a foreign man that posts this kind of stuff. So the fact that Jacqueline is potentially from India or something is the problem now. Not that Jacqueline has a valid explanation as to why you're, in the over 30 age bracket and still not married and has no children. So laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji, go home, the goats miss you. Okay, so we go to an ad hominem attack and laughter, even though obviously triggered enough for 3 more posts, including attacks against, I think that was the same night, that other woman who just stated why she doesn't want to be a feminist, as if that was a personal insult to this spinster who can't find a decent man that, as she just admitted, can only attract these 80% of undesirable men who are all so terrible, many of whom are already married, though. So then on the same day or earlier, I wasn't sure if I was going to include this. Is this the one? Oh, yeah. This is a different one. This is just one where she's giving advice that sounds like a scammer. I'm so sorry. End it. There's a different one where she recommends to a lonely man that he should try Tindr. And he says, I thought that was just a hookup app. And oh no, some of my men friends found their wife on Tindr. Again, men friends who didn't marry her, that she already knew. So then the next day, DEI for sure. You don't have to be alone and up all night, but you are, because you just have terrible choices again. Or maybe in this case, was awake super early for a change. So we got 3 posts again here. I'm not even getting through. This video is just long, but I'm sorry. I'll do a few more pages. Okay. Yeah, in a couple more pages, I get to the stuff that I already used in episode 2. So we only have a couple more pages. Now I got to scroll back up. So here it was up at 4:30 in the morning. You're lame, all right. Blame us, straw men whom hate women is her argument. 52 heart, 0 comment. Okay, so this is the post after all that. Okay. Certain men hate strong, educated, successful women because when we achieve more than they can, they crumble. Now, this is post number 3. So, again, I'm reading them in backwards order. Their egos told them they'd achieve, but entitlement loses against hard work and dedication. Like all those 80% of loser men don't work hard. Okay, sure. Again, no way to quantify the statistics because we're talking about so many different demographics. She's not saying 80% of all men in a specific age bracket because, again, she's in a higher age bracket where most of them are married. If you go down to lower age bracket, yeah, 80% of those men might be unmarried, but that doesn't mean they're all losers. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do math here. You get the point. Instead of admitting defeat and listening to competent women, of which she is marginally, because, like I said, plenty of competent men come at her in the comments, and even some women, and she just ignores most of it. They'd rather flip over the game board and say education is meaningless, then dismiss achievements. We're failures because we aren't married yet. Yeah, kind of, because you're the one arguing with the feminist woman who says that's her goal. She wants to be married. She wants to have children. So small, so pathetic. Again, an employee whose customers you call pathetic losers. Where's your ethics there? I don't see you as qualified for this job. Because again, this is the culture that they have at Tindr. These are the toxic employees that they have there. That is the bottom line of all this, not just ridiculing one random idiot, because there's plenty of them already on YouTube videos that you can watch all day long. Again, I don't really make that kind of content. I make this because it has a point, not just look at the stupid women. That's not. Again, this is a woman who could be saved from herself, as they keep saying, if she'd allow it to happen. And worthless and pathetic and small and weak and crumble and don't work as hard as she does, even though her and her boss criticizes her. He's the patriarchy. He's the boogeyman, blah, blah, blah. He's a sexist, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, men try to date her and she calls it hatred because she likes to shoot them down for validation, just as often as shooting down these horrible ones. Or their politics are wrong, or their hobbies aren't fun enough, or whatever. But accusing these men of saying that she can't have a job, she always goes slippery slope hyperbole. That's like the other default. Again, I don't have time to go into all those. Some of it might come up in a few pages. Tell me the divorce stats again, by the way. Again, if we're going to talk about 80% of the unmarried and the married, or whatever was my tangent the other night. Yeah, the women initiate most of the divorces to the men dumb enough to marry them, I guess. They box the men out of the jobs and then complain that men, yeah, like I said, this would pop up. This is just me commenting this. But again, it's based on stuff that they had posted. It's not just me words up. They complain that the men don't earn enough money, which she just did 3 times in a row. Belittle the men is so endearing, by the way. Again, her personality. You want to talk about pathetic? This is, again, the same person who a year ago wanted to kill herself over the crap guy who was only 5'8" and broke, and ignores videos about the biological facts of reality, but does have a job, so can afford to ride around and do lame, her hobbies and things and stuff where she, again, doesn't meet any quality men, apparently. They're not lining up to be there when you're there with your all-girl crew, or girls who only date girls crew, or whatever. Let's see. They complain that there's a male-dominated entertainment industry too, because again, there's overlap of these people in Hollywood people. Because again, this company is, I don't know if the main headquarters is in West Hollywood or just one of their offices, but that is not heterosexual land to begin with. So another tangent. Yeah, I don't know how she gets all this time off work to pursue these hobbies, but whatever. That's another side argument. But, you know, I had talked about Hollywood in the previous video about the woman coming to see entertainment, and she had told them to go to gay clubs and things. So I don't know how that woman was supposed to meet a quality man either if you're going to only gay and lesbian places. Maybe the woman was also a lesbian. I don't know. So yeah, everybody is nice because she's cute until they criticize, and then it's the end of the world, and it's her sexist boss and trolls who all hate women. And, you know, when she hates men plenty, and I said likely no real adversity at any of these cushy jobs, has had lover who died. Don't know. I don't think so, but she seems to have several friends who have. Again, I think I've said, you know, self-harm words on accident already, so I don't know if this will get censored. Blah blah. Is she really as competent as all the men who might have got that job? Again, is she a DEI hire? We don't know. That's speculation, but again, clearly a toxic individual, and her own boss has trouble dealing with her. So then Trad wife had posted, feminists are panicking over a study complaining 1 in 3 young women. Let me start reading that again. Feminists are panicking over a study claiming 1 in 3 young men think women should obey their husbands. So she had a reply after seeing that, calling this another foreign account. But maybe, Trad wife continues, but maybe young men simply reject the chaos of modern dating, endless independence, zero accountability, and relationships that collapse in 2 years. Again, I think I said in the first video, this employee thinks a long relationship is 6 to 8 months. So bad track record already. Respect, leadership, loyalty. These used to be normal parts of marriage. Now they're called oppression. Funny how tradition becomes dangerous the moment men rediscover it. So that's what she's complaining about again, that this is a foreign bot. It doesn't really matter. So what I was saying about their marriage and divorce rates in places like India are probably way better than those in the United States or even Australia, definitely the UK. You know, the modern Western Eurocentric countries are the ones experiencing all these high divorce rates and these low marriage rates and increasingly these low birth rates, because again, I haven't heard of India and Pakistan suffering from birth rates. Japan, on the other hand, surprisingly enough, is having trouble with that now, apparently. So I imagine there's a lot of foreign content that's Japanese, but she just doesn't read it because it's not posted in English, like stuff from India. So then 11:30 p.m. earlier, she posted, red pill men have super negative views of women, but it seems like their female guests are always OnlyFans women and not exactly the best and brightest women. Again, these women can make this money that men can't. That'll be a topic in the next video. It's never a lady scientist or a lawyer or professor. Well, again, according to you, there's just not enough of those to go around, right? Because they're all oppressed. Or maybe mostly they just hate trashy women. Hate being maybe the wrong word, because again, mostly it was indifference earlier. She was expecting all this hateful stuff to come out, and instead the men were like, no, we just don't want someone like you. Into models is like beating up an elderly person. Maybe they're scared to have a woman make them look stupid. She kind of plagiarized one of my jokes there from before, maybe, but we won't necessarily know that's automatically true. I don't know who, like, again, I don't consume a lot of this content. I don't know how much she consumes to be such an expert on what they broadcast. But I have seen some clips of these videos again in Alex Grace and Taylor Fiend videos and that kind of thing. And yeah, no, I don't know, how much we want to consider those kind of what we call bimbos representative of all women. But you just said 80% of men are pathetic losers. So suffice to say that most of these women aren't in your profession, don't make your money, wouldn't live up to your standard of the quality of men they should be able to attract, right? So maybe those feminists also refuse to be on these kind of shows because it normalizes the stuff that you claim is all foreign propaganda, even though all these manosphere shows are, again, Eurocentric or American mostly. Also, we already heard their arguments plenty, as has been pointed out by more than enough creators before I came along. And these other 304s that are OnlyFans strippers and whatnot call themselves feminists too, even though it's a real broad or loose definition from this professional woman ranting and raving about how she can't find a decent boyfriend to women who literally expect men to throw money into their pants. But she's still getting up late and not getting enough sleep and bored and wastes all her time on this nonsense. And so you look plenty stupid to me too, you fool, because of your own behavior. It doesn't have to do with intellect. Again, also the low IQ thing. You spend all your time talking about JFK Jr. and Elon Musk and all these other people that you're never going to meet, as if they care what you post. And again, still ends up only dating hump and dump chads, and as the side chick, every three-way, when they've always already had the other woman that they are going to keep when they don't retain you. And you'll probably end up doing this more for the next 5 or 10 years, maybe. Who knows? They'll never care for you, and you'll be too old and unattractive by the time you figure that out, maybe. Yeah. Or hope that some simp will ever satisfy her, which clearly is not the case because 80% of men are losers, and I'm sure all the simps are in that category. But yeah, she's another brave keyboard warrior. So there you go. Couples therapy and emotional support. They, again, would even classify that kind of thing maybe as simpy behavior. Because that's just not manly enough for them to chase. Again, always these guys that maybe they offer her drinks or drugs or whatever it is that is the key thing that goes along with this self-confidence they claim to cherish. So then Minar something says there's a lot of assumptions about OnlyFans girls there. I can't tell if you're trying to be funny or not. I guess she wishes it was funny so she wouldn't sound so stupid again. Her main argumentative style is just to, again, throw the hand grenade in the room and run off and doesn't even read half the comments. Replies to few. Laughing and expecting no blowback or consequence or pay the piper when these people do come at her with logic and facts and whatnot. They get nowhere. It's like talking to a wall. And then she can't figure out why she's single and all the men are losers. Okay, whatever. What men can get the same easier free situation for a job? I know I can't. I think I'm fairly handsome, and nobody's throwing me money in my buy me a coffee, which I've enabled the buy me a coffee feature. Feel free to buy me a coffee, although pizza was what I put in the thing and it didn't show up in the header. Yeah, likely earns more from doing OnlyFans than they might from a sugar daddy, but that runs out when they become fat or old or ugly, whatever. So then the first post, which was at lunchtime, men who blames women's rights for their lack of success are victim mentality losers. She's been posting victim mentality stuff for like 12 years, people. I haven't read all of it, but I've seen a fair sampling. Now all of a sudden wants to flip the script. Man up and own your own failures. Own your failures, sorry. Yeah, most of their failure is just wasting time on a woman like you, apparently. Again, where's your husband? Where's your, movie deal if you were doing community theater spots or Shakespeare in the Park or whatever it was? Alex Grace videos about man up. Yes, there are plenty of that. That's all you get from feminists is them telling you to man up. They won't accept you at all. They call you a simp if you need any emotional support whatsoever. So it's more hypocrisy, more double standards. I guess she missed all that, even though he has 5 years of content or something. Yeah, and again, we can't find women that want to support us. You make more than us. You took all the good jobs. Feel free to buy me dinner. Oh, that's not going to happen. If I don't buy you a dinner, I'm in a non financially supported 80% loser. So again, going in backwards order, it becomes even more revealing and a little more redundant. Last year, there was a video about how she had to spend money from work that she made at work to relieve the stress caused by the work by going to a spa. But her cush job is nothing like, guys who work on the road or work in a prison or go in the army, or women do some of these jobs too. Again, I'm not saying they don't, but again, when I talk about 80%, I'm sure it's more like 90% of men who are the firemen and the police and the soldiers and the yada, yada, yada. And that's a liberal number. 90, more like 95. Plumbers. Have I met a woman plumber? I don't know. The fireman ladder video again. So then now Lister came in and she hearted this like immediately, even though it doesn't reply to a lot of other stuff. But I thought this was a simp with 7 followers. I don't blame my lack of conventional success on women's rights. Most of us don't. I don't. Like I said, I don't know what content she's consuming where that would be accurate. If anything, I blame it on shitty men. But what most people call success, I call failure. Whatever that means. Having a job and a kid is failure, I guess. I don't know. Then Crosso says, instead of blaming yourself, blame the crappy men because reasons. Yeah, calling out Lister here. And then emoji, I don't know what that means. A hand gesture maybe, and then a laughy face. So yeah, call out the hypocrite for me. Thank you, because I don't engage in any of this crap. All the other loser, single, undateable spinsters can chime in how she's right. You go, girl. We don't need no man. Why don't they date us? Right. Yeah, again, in every single video. Why don't they date us after we just said we don't need a man? Because they only date for performative reasons. I thought this was a comment that was deleted, but one of the accounts had gone private. So I don't know if there was more comments after that, because the thing vanished. And so I didn't see the rest of that thread. This one doesn't take her serious, laughs at her, says, very funny, haha, kind of thing. You think you're being serious, but nobody's taking you serious because you're stupid, kind of thing. Adam only married Eve because there was nobody else, was my it was part of a longer bit. Sitter something asks, why are most of your posts about men? You don't police the ladies either. I mean, to act as if one side is bad while the other is completely fine is kind of weird. Yeah, she hates men. There's no accountability. Duh, it's all double standards and hypocrisy. LOL. So then she actually replies a few hours later, I guess, a weak answer of disinformation again, because I get to decide what I talk about. Plenty of manosphere accounts out there bash women exclusively. I'm balancing the scales. If you have a problem, okay, yeah, fair enough. Like, sure, you're allowed to have your thing again, but again, your bias carries clearly through to your job. Which again, this post is not about you and your life as much as you as an employee of a company that hires employees like you that does not deserve our money, and you don't deserve your job, because all of this proves how much you people are not competent or qualified or whatever at making matches that are designed to last. longer than 8 months, or apparently whatever your window is. The balance, how they already respond to plenty of that existing crap content, which I said, you're not balancing the scales, because feminist arguments were already the reason the manosphere stuff began. So really, she's a liar. Like I said, disinformation. This didn't come from a vacuum, just like my words aren't coming from a vacuum. They're all based on things that you specifically wrote, or things that are easily refuted in plenty of Alex Grace videos, including from earlier that day. So then he says, I'm trying to block of this toxic debate between both men and women. Honestly, gives me a headache. And Tyrus on Gutfeld the same evening. In fact, if you can find that clip. Might have been, it couldn't have been St. Patrick's Day. It might have been the day before. Might have been St. Patrick's Day. Oh, it was a Tuesday. Okay, I'm thinking of this. Yeah, check Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, and you might find the Tyrus clip of the him addressing this exact situation about these toxic women and whatnot. So yeah, more likely to follow her soon enough, including this guy. I don't know. Her winning personality clearly is winning these men over. If they're smart, they see she's toxic as hell and go on with your life. He's saying she's a fixated loon and obnoxious, and then she proves it, right? Again, check out her talk video for more man hatred. That is even more. So then here was another Tinder bit. Literally F you. Let's see. Ian says, I just want to make art. Oh, this was the one I was talking about earlier. Okay. I just want to make art and be in love with no kids in a dying, because he has no kids. This seems like the biggest ask in Los Angeles. Everybody either wants to hook up or raise a family. So you don't want to raise a family, but you don't want to be alone. Okay. Lauds. So this is where she lauds Tinder to this lonely idiot. I don't know why she doesn't just bed him already then and add to your body count. 500 to 1 ratio on Tinder. I don't know. I haven't done the math. I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure it's equally terribly as the one that I tried years ago. So here's where she insists. Go on Tinder. They have the highest number of daily users versus any other dating app. So numbers wise, it's your best shot. Yeah, if any of them are serious and not just paying to. It's a tough one, but I know a lot of guys who met their wives on there. I doubt it, or how long till they're divorced, don't know. Got to do the paid version though. Yeah, exactly. You ain't gonna find any relationships at all on Tinder if you don't pay, and if you do pay, the odds are still in your favor way more if you're female than if you're male. And again, none of those guys have married her, and why would they? So he doesn't understand that she's a liar and doesn't care apparently that she has no husband and no family, and transactionally dates pretty much only, but this is when he says he sees it only as the hookup ad. I could be wrong though and give it a shot. And then of course she tries to convince him that it's not just casual, women with aggressive personalities or whatever. But yeah, I would insist that you're likely to meet only the free dinner gold diggers like her, even if she insists she's not that. Making fun of red pill bros and incels, anti-purity culture, total shrew with no husband, running around ruining life for other dumb single gals is her idea of advice. But as they point out, she is the joke much of the time. Again, incel is a man who wants a quality wife and relationship, not a promiscuous older woman with too many previous partners, especially if she calls herself a lesbian and basically hates men. Apparently many of these lesbians didn't care for her every single time, didn't think she was funny. I don't have any direct quotes about that. But they apparently think it's all toxic anti-man vitriol, I'm speculating. Then they have a new word for lesbian, kind of like cis is their new word for normal. If you're normal, they call you cis. That's supposed to be an insult, I guess. Again, if you want a quality woman for marriage, there's something wrong with you. Sure, that must be the problem. Let's see, not for you. Good celebrities. This was about celebrities and wealthy men. Yeah, because apparently they can attract younger women. Who knew? Tobey Maguire can date a hot 20-year-old. So it doesn't matter what, men improve themselves versus that, I guess. I don't know. She still doesn't believe that it sounds like man-hating. Again, I have still 40 pages of this we didn't get through. So this one is another one I guess she claims is a foreign poster. Manoj. I don't know why old men think men spend a lifetime improving themselves to settle for whatever they have left. We don't grind and lose sleep for women on the eve of menopause. So yeah, why should Tobey Maguire? Neuro says it's disgusting and predatory, and if you approve of it, so are you. Never presume to speak for men again. Okay, so here's the simp coming in to try and defend her honor as if he's going to get a date from her. Even though historically, even though you won't get this from a younger woman or a feminist now, historically, normal women liked older men. Again, it wasn't. Now there's all these Peter Pan version of female narcissists who, have no children, have no family, are still unmarried, and think that these eligible, wealthy men are just going to pick them. I don't know. Again, not relevant. It kind of goes off on a tangent. So then she thanks the simp with a little emoji. And spend her whole time talking about the Chads that screwed her over, I guess, as if any of them would ever care for you. We already know that they don't. Not a big surprise. Okay. So, yeah, kind of a longer episode, and I guess I'm going to have to peter out there. Unfortunately, I don't remember what page the other... I can barely see the screen. If I turn off that light, though, then my face looks atrocious. Yeah, so I had other relevant things that insufferable and hyperbole. Where in the Bible does it say I have to date a man and not have a job or something? It's all that kind of stuff. Which again goes back to that other woman talking about the biblical thing that gets in a whole other. Again, if you're, religious or not religious, I don't know what's on Tindr regarding that. But a lot of it about politics. So this is how society operated for thousands of years. He posts another meme. If women stopped working, men would have more jobs. True. Women would need husbands. Wives would stay home and have babies. Families would multiply. America would heal. And so that clearly offended her. What if women stopped working? Then they'd need to be wives and mothers and men would all be employed. Nah, they'd just speed up AI adoption and outsource more. In the short term, U.S. productivity would tank because not all men are actually trained to do the jobs. That's why we import foreign skilled people that don't get liberal arts educations. They get Bachelor of Science degrees instead. Tax revenue would also fall off a cliff. All the families with double incomes would suddenly be in poverty. Many of them supposedly are anyway, that you're all arguing about. Stop saying childish things and showing us you don't think critically, as if you do. Because again, I just did 30 pages of you not thinking critically. So then this simp comes in. People don't recognize as being a mother to rare children into good citizens is maybe the most important job our society has. Well, okay, she'd have to be a stay-at-home mom to do that and insist that she wants to be a job and a mom at the same time, and we already know how badly that goes from statistics. Then Sharp, she hearts this. Not to mention millions of us are wives and mothers and working a full-time job. It's not either or. Well, we didn't say it was. If men can't get a job, it's because they are not qualified for that job. False. Same for women. False, false. Same for anybody. There's only men and women, so I don't know who else is applying for these jobs. People need to quit the blame game and take some accountability for their own lives. Well, if you applied for the job and you didn't get the job, then you can't blame me for not having the job necessarily. But she agrees with this. She just says yes. And so again, okay, but where's your children? You have no husband. You have no family. You just have your job. And the men you are trying to attract or arguing with or whatever are the ones who are saying they would prefer if you didn't have a job, or that they don't care if you don't have a good job. And that just offends the crap out of you for some reason. Okay, so like I said, I'm really going to stop now. I added that extra chunk. There was plenty more. Don't worry. There will be another episode of this, probably for sure. Hopefully not as long as this one. Hopefully somebody will watch this one. So I guess I have to say it at the end of the video. Boycott Tinder. I won't add all the other stuff I usually add when I put that at the end of other videos. But again, feel free to buy me a pizza, or please watch some of my other videos that are much more uplifting content than this kind of thing.